People will ask, is it really possible that the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, are actually missing equipment for frontline soldiers? We're here in December of 2024. The answer is unequivocally yes. After October 7th, 2023, the IDF never dreamed of, never prepared for such a war, certainly not a war both in Gaza and in Lebanon, also needing to have massive troop call ups in Judea and Samaria. So this was never prepared for, never imagined, never dreamed of. You don't all of a sudden have sufficient levels of tactical equipment and protective gear overnight. That said, if they had been doing a better job of maintaining inventory levels before October 7th, it wouldn't have been such a huge ask to get as much equipment as was needed. But unfortunately, many of the helmets, vests, ceramic plates were outdated. The storage units didn't have sufficient levels of night vision goggles or um, other important items that are needed in the field, communication sets. So there were huge issues that were not dealt with. And this led down the line to, as more soldiers were needed, there'd be more and more equipment that would be needed in the front lines. It simply wasn't there. Donors stepped up and they helped. Now, why isn't this fixed after 14 months? It's a good question. There are so many issues that the state of Israel is dealing with, that the Ministry of Defense is dealing with, whether that's munitions, planes, helicopters, tank parts. So a helmet and a vest seems kind of small in the bigger picture. That said, we are protecting individual lives. So that's a little bit of an insight into how in December of 2024, there's still missing equipment in the IDF, and it's not a problem that's going to go away. On the IDF website, they just put out from the logistics department that that ceramic plates that are 15 years old or older are not safe. This is known and certainly known in law enforcement here in the United States. Why wasn't it dealt with until now? And how come this wasn't made how come the IDF didn't promote this to its soldiers? Well, there simply were no replacements. They really didn't have a sufficient level. They still don't necessarily have sufficient level. So this is some of the insight into what is going on behind the scenes. And it's something that has to be taken seriously and has to be dealt with as a real issue. And soldiers on the front lines need to realize there's a pretty decent shot they're going to need to replace some of their equipment.